name's Phoebe and welcome back to my channel. So today I have a thrift haul for you of everything that I've bought so far in 2023 from the thrift store, which coincidentally is also pretty much everything I've bought so far this year. I had a lot of good luck at the thrift store. I definitely spent a lot of time and money there, which, you know, sometimes that's how it goes. I worked in retail over the holiday season, and I think that maybe partly this is a reaction to that. Like maybe I needed some retail therapy. There was a lot of hormones. Mercury was in retrograde. You know, I think all these things were contributing factors. So moral of the story is I'm taking a breather on the thrift store right now. But I am very excited to show you everything that I got last month because I still am really in love with these things and I'm pretty excited to get to work them into my house. So I'll start off with the very first item that I thrifted. This caught my eye first at the thrift store in the early days of January, and it is this vintage unicorn mug, and it's perfect. I really am enjoying this. I've used it multiple times. It was pretty scuzzy, but with a little baking soda, it cleaned right up. And I just think the illustration is super cute. You don't often see a lot of like irises in illustrations, and I think that's really cool. Anyway, this is like a definite score. It was only $1 and I've used it so many times already. Definitely a great mug. Most of these items are vintage home decor. Earl is lurking around here. He's very intrigued at what's going on. The only clothing item I have to show you is this Eddie Bauer shirt dress. I really love it, except it's a little bit too small. And I didn't try it on at the thrift store because I kind of thought, it's a shirt dress, like it's supposed to be like, you know, a little, it doesn't need to fit exactly. But the problem is that this is like an elastic band and it is really tight. It's like corset type. Like I feel like it's like pinching some ribs and things. So I don't, Earl, what are you doing, man? I know you're very intrigued at this whole process, but you want to just come say hello and then I'm sure you'll want to disappear. Here's Earl. Coming to say hello, make a cameo appearance. Anyway, the moral of the story with that dress is the band is really tight. It feels like it's gonna pop a rib. Am I ready to let go of it yet? No. So I might try to wear it one more time so I can really learn my lesson. But it's kind of a shame. It reminds me so much of a shirt dress that I used to have that I literally wore until it was threadbare. And I was hoping that would replace it, but I don't think it's going to because it's just not comfy enough. So one of the other things that I bought very early in the year, which I really just bought it for my inner child. They're these like polystone Easter ornaments. And here's an open package. I bought 2 packages. I had to buy 2 packages because they were all mismatched in there, and clearly the previous owner had owned both and I felt like they must have known what they were doing. Anyway, I bought both so that I could have 2 complete sets, and I fully intend on hanging these on my houseplants. Maybe I'll find like a little Easter tree that I can fashion, but anyway, I mostly bought those for my inner child. I have to say they were $2 a set, no regrets. Maybe I'll become an Easter decor person, which leads very nicely into this next item, which is this bunny pedestal. Like, I don't know, what do you call this? Like, what was the intended purpose? Right now it has a bunch of burrowtail propagations in it, and like, I think they're starting to come. They haven't been in here for too long. Yeah, my burrow's tail had an unfortunate incident this month. So this is what we're working with. This is only a fraction of all of the burrowtail succulents babies that I've got going. So we'll see. Some of these are dying. Some of them look like they're starting to put out roots. So it'll be exciting when it grows in. I'm hoping that it'll look like just like a whole garden of cabbages, and then it'll like match really nicely with the bunnies here. Anyway, we'll see what happens. I'm not gonna leave these succulents in here for forever, but it was just sort of like a quick fix in the moment after I broke my giant burro's tail. And I think it'll look cute in here to like start growing, and then I'll probably divide them once they get a little bit bigger. But anyway, that's that. And yeah, another Easter inspired piece that I don't know. I also bought 2 of these wall vases, which I'm going to use as a propagation station, obviously. I do have some plans for these. As you can see, they kind of have these like peacock designs, and I'm pretty sure these are just sort of like heat pressed onto this. These don't look particularly valuable to me. Like, they look probably like a dollar store type thing. And as you can see, some of this is already starting to like come off, and this one, like, they're not even quite matching. Anyway, this is me just trying to justify that I'm going to try to remove these peacocks off of here, and then they'll just be like a blue vase, and I'm going to maybe like put some flowers or something on it. I'm hoping that I can just remove it with vinegar and then maybe draw on some Posca paint flowers, and I don't know, we'll see. I get a lot of anxiety about changing things from the thrift store like that, but I really think that I can't really go wrong with this because the print itself isn't the greatest, and it'll be a fun experiment to see what happens, so stay tuned for that. I got this tiny pot, and as you can see, I have a little random succulent in here. I bought a lot of pots this month. Some months are just really good at the thrift store for certain things, and I have a feeling somebody donated a bunch of pots and I bought several of them, so be prepared for that. And so that's the first of many. I also bought a lot of things like this, which will become plant pots. So that's the idea for both of these bowls. Fun story from the thrift is that I originally found this green bowl and I thought it was really cool. We have a brown one that's pretty similar to this that we just put our like bananas and fruit in. So I found this one and I was like, oh, that's really nice. And then I saw this one, but they had it as a display bowl for like earrings and things, and I was like, oh, that's a shame because that's clearly a matching set. Anyway, the next time I went to the thrift store, they were together and they were like, I think $8 or something like that. Anyway, basically they just threw in this extra bowl for the price that this bowl was, or like a little bit more, and so I'm glad I waited a day because then I got both. Anyway, as you can see, I already have a few little plants started in this. These are Peperomia Ruby Cascade or Peperonia Pepper Pot. Yeah, so they're just starting to come along. I can tell the leaves are perked up a little bit. Anyway, this is not a plant video, but I am planning on maybe putting my lemon lime maranta in here, and then it'll be a nice hanging basket. Oh, I think I forgot to mention, I'm gonna make macrames for this. I mean, I'm going to make them someday. But my idea is that the cords from the macrame will come on this outer lip part, and then the plant can just flow down where it's sort of indented, and I think that's gonna look really pretty if I actually get around to making those macrames for it, which hopefully I will. In the same area, I'm hoping to hang this up. So in my upstairs, I'm starting to collect green things because I want to put a bunch of green things together, and I found this, like, I know it as like a witch's ball or a friendship ball. I don't know if it has a different name because it's like a slightly different shape, but I think it's just a window ornament, so I'm just going to put it on a little hanger and have it in the window to catch the light. It did occur to me that I could put a little tillandsia or an air plant in here, but realistically, I can put a tillandsia or an air plant in anything, so we'll see. It's mostly just going to be a hanging type thing. And it's probably a good time to show you this, which I also will have similarly. All of my green glass things, I'm just going to make, you know, I've got a grand scheme. Anyway, I didn't need this. It's a tiny green bottle that says Coca-Cola, and it has a salt and pepper sort of topper. I think this was 99 cents. It must have been a slow day at the thrift store and I felt like I needed this. I'm not sure. Anyway, it's up in a window and it catches the light, so it's pretty nice. And I did think like this will look, if they're kind of close, that's cute, right? I bought this very early in the year as well. And as you can see, it's just a little Lazy Susan. I bought this for our kitchen table, just, you know, to have our fruit bowl and some salt and pepper shakers, that sort of thing. Anyway, I did have one, but this one has really good coasters. Like, it's a really satisfying spin. Our other one was pretty, it's not as nice anyway. So I got that to replace the other one, and I've been enjoying it as a centerpiece on our table. This is a funny thing. I believe this is probably an ashtray, but let me know if you know what it is. I would assume you'd probably put like your cigarette here. I'm not sure though. Part of me also wonders, like, is it a fondue fork rest? Because that would be kind of cool. You can kind of just picture something in there, or like maybe it's for like, you know, a Cruella de Vil type cigarette. I'm not sure. Anyway, this was nagging at me, and I kept going back to the thrift store to see if it was still there, and I just finally decided to buy it. I held off on it for so long because I think it was $8, which is steep for me, but it is cool. And obviously I'm going to put a plant in it. I have an idea of putting something in it on a shelf, and then it can like cascade down. I'm not quite sure what I want to put in there actually, but we'll figure it out. It won't have drainage holes. None of these have drainage holes, which I wouldn't recommend to a new plant parent, but I like to mess around and find out, so I'm just going to experiment with them and see what happens. And hopefully I won't kill the plant in the process, but we'll see. We'll see. I did also get this butter dish, which is already in use. I don't have a butter dish. Well, I didn't until I got this. And I'm not sure, it's not, I'll tell you, the one thing that bothers me about it is the eyes are weird. Do you see that? Do you see, like, the eyes don't quite match up? Something about that really bothers me, I gotta say. Anyway, what I would like to get one day is one of those little, like, milk glass hens that the top pops off, and then you put your butter in that. So that's what I'm like scouring the thrift stores for, and then I will replace this because part of me wants to make an eye patch for this cow. Like, I don't know. It's a weird thing to get hung up on, but I'm hung up on it. Anyway, regardless, it holds the butter. It's great. So we're enjoying it for now. Oh, now is a good time for me to mention two things that I'm not going to hold up in the video. One of them is because I literally just broke it. I was kind of getting things organized, you know, to show you, and I moved one thing that knocked into a mirror, which I obviously couldn't break because I can't afford any more bad luck. So I like overcorrected and reached for the mirror, and in the process knocked over a tall glass goblet candle holder type thing, which I was gonna plant my Hoya Curtsii in. It's now in a box down in the basement waiting to get thrown out. You know, quite frankly, I didn't have any right to buy that thing because I should know myself better by now that I can't have nice things. Like, I can't have something that's that, you know, tempting for gravity to like grab onto. So I could definitely thrift another one. They're not that hard to find, but I don't know if I will because, yeah, I can't tempt fate again like that. Anyway, this was the mirror that I was trying to save. I can't believe that this was still at the thrift store because, oh, hello. I can't believe that this was still at the thrift store because I saw it one day and I didn't have my paycheck, so I had to wait on it, and when I went back it was still there and I couldn't believe it. And I was so excited about it that I told the cashier, and she was like, oh, I found that on the floor, so somebody was definitely thinking about buying it. And I was like, obviously it's gorgeous, but now it's mine. I'll show you the back because I always think the back is very cool, and that's how you can tell it's definitely pretty authentic. Made in Canada, Hamilton, Ontario, the hammer. Anyway, I think it's really gorgeous, and I'm still debating on where I want to hang it up in my house because pretty much it would look good anywhere. And oh, the other thing I was going to mention that I almost forgot about is I bought a spice rack. It doesn't have spices on it. I used it just as a little shelf to display some sort of sentimental and art pieces that are my partner's. We have a lot of that stuff displayed on one shelf, but I just kind of wanted to like put a few little things everywhere and just enjoy them. I find it's like kind of easier to see things when it's just like a little sort of collection. Anyway, it's hanging in our living room and I like to look at it. So that's over there. I'm not gonna take it down though. Oh, this is definitely my most old lady purchase of the entire haul, and I love it. It's also one of the things that I've used the most. It is a fold up breakfast tray. This is what I watch plant videos on in bed. I put my iPad on here and then I fall asleep watching plant videos, and it works really great for that. I can't tell whether it's vintage or not. It kind of looks vintage, but something about the sides make me wonder if it is. So I don't know what you think. It could definitely just be something off of Amazon, but it kind of does look vintage too, so it doesn't really matter because I'm excited about it anyway. But yeah, pretty cool. Definitely the most old lady purchase I bought though. Oh, this one's heavy. Oh, this is probably what my partner was the most excited about. It is a $6 vintage speaker, or as I like to call it, a fun plant stand. I don't know if it works. I would guess it doesn't based on the fact that it says as is and costs $6, but I think it's pretty cool. I think like this is like really pretty. I think a plant's gonna look great on it. I also know that probably we could just replace the speaker in it, and you know, it's a really beautiful cabinet for a speaker. I know that that's possible. Probably I'm not gonna do that, quite frankly. I mean, it is possible too that maybe the speaker works, I don't know, but anyway, I think it was pretty cool. So $6, I had to get it. I was excited about it. This, I'm not quite sure if I want to put plants in it or not. That's why I bought it. I bought it to be sort of an open terrarium and kind of have like the soil up to here and then have a nice little display in there. And I might still do that, but I also might use it this Easter to display my Easter eggs. I think that would look pretty cool. I assume this was meant for, you know, that like fancy potpourri, like with like the fancy balls and things like that. I assume that's what this was. But yeah, I think it could look cool with Easter eggs in it, and I probably will eventually put a plant in it, which I'll probably say a lot more in the course of this video. I also got these two moonshine bottles, you know, because I'm thinking of starting a speakeasy. Not really. Plants are gonna go in these. These are terrarium vessels. These were hanging out for a while at the thrift store, and I do think they would be really cute as terrarium vessels. Yeah, they're definitely like pretty old. They both say made in Canada on them, so I feel like that's usually a good indicator that they're probably pretty old, because nothing's made in Canada anymore for the most part. I also got a set of 3 of these kitchen canisters, and obviously they are going to hold plants. So I would also like to turn these into macrame hangers. I've seen on Instagram a few times those mushroom canisters that people have turned into macrame hangers, and they're kind of the same shape, and they look so cute, and so I think that's gonna look really pretty. Again, I'm probably gonna put this around where my collection of green things are, and I think I'm potentially will only make macrame hangers for like the small and medium size, and then maybe the large one I'll just put kind of like in the same area, but just as a plant pot. But I think they're gonna be really cute. The last 3 things I'm gonna show you are pots. Someone had clearly donated their pots from their plant collection. Maybe they were downsizing, or you know, sometimes people are going into smaller housing, so they're just downsizing. Oh, she's heavy. Okay, I know the color is maybe not what you were expecting, but this is a massive pot. It's huge. I don't even have a plant that will fit in this, but it was only $10, and I know how expensive these pots are because I'm really afraid of when my plant collection gets to the size that it might need a pot this big. Anyway, this one was only $10. I'm definitely planning on repainting it. I haven't quite decided. I'm maybe thinking green, or maybe I'll just paint it all one color. I'm not sure yet. I'm gonna paint it, and then I think it's gonna change things a lot. I'm also thinking probably until I have a plant big enough for it, I'll probably put it in the greenhouse and maybe just use it as like, just like a flower planter for a little bit until like one of my plants gets big enough for it. But I thought that was a steal of a deal. I probably could have passed it up, but again, it's really hard to find bigger pots for a good price, and so I thought this was a real steal of a deal. Anyway, but it definitely needs some paint, I think, but there's potential. This pot is pretty cute. It's kind of basic, but it's gonna match my kitchen really well. It also, like, doesn't it match this butter dish so well? Isn't that funny? The kitchen is yellow and blue, so I thought this would be really nice. I might put it on the fridge. I'm not quite sure, but I'm thinking about putting my Hoya Bella in this because it probably could use better light and maybe a slightly bigger pot. So yeah, this will get put into use very quickly. The last pot I have to show you is probably my favorite, and it is this gorgeous, I don't know what this glaze color is called, but I would glaze my entire life in this glaze color. It's so pretty. It definitely looks vintage to me. It was made in Portugal. I'm not sure if it is vintage, but it definitely has that sort of style. It also kind of reminds me of like Winnie the Pooh's honey pot. Like, is it just me? I don't think so. Anyway, I'm very excited to put something in here. I don't even know what's gonna go in here because it's such a gorgeous pot. I'm so intimidated. Anyway, we'll figure it out. And I'm really excited to get something in it. It's just such a good size, and it was $8, which is an incredible price for something so beautiful. Well, my friends, that was everything that we got at the thrift store so far this year. I definitely went a little bit overboard in January at the thrift store, which is not something I usually do, but it happens. I do also have a thrift trip that I made a little video of if you wanted to see a few items from that little thrift haul. I'll link it down below. But yeah, sometimes, you know, you just find really good things at the thrift store and it's hard to resist. So I'm being a little bit better this month to sort of balance things out, but yeah, sometimes it happens. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed some of my thrift purchases. Let me know if there's anything in particular that you loved, because I'm very excited about everything and I would love to talk about it. If you like this video, make sure you give it a like and subscribe to my channel if you'd like to see more thrifty content or how I work some of these items into my house. I would love for you to follow along on the journey. Until then, thank you so much for watching. My name's BB and I hope you have a really good day and great luck at the thrift store.